Hello everyone. Welcome to Spooky Recaps. Today I will show you horror, mystery, thriller. 2016 movie called The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Enjoy. Small-town Virginia police are walking through a horrible crime scene. They find the family living in the house where the crime occurred, having been killed in brutal ways. They also discover an unknown corpse in the basement. The body belongs to a young woman found half buried at a crime scene. With no ID and her fingerprints not found in the police system, she's classified as a Jane Doe. What's more troubling is that there's no apparent reason for her to have been at the crime scene. And the body is pristine, with no apparent cause of death. A deputy notes that there was no sign of forced entry and, in fact, it looked like the family was trying to escape from the house. Two people are working in the morgue. The morgue is part of a funeral home run by the Tilden family. This includes Father Tommy Tilden and his son Austin Tilden. The Tilden morgue has been a staple in Grantham for years, and Austin still has plenty to learn from his dad, who may be older but is still as sharp as they come. Austin is training for the family business. Austin is ready to get out of Grantham, Virginia. The only thing keeping him is his relationship with his father Tommy. Emma, Austin's girlfriend, visits her boyfriend. His father explains that coroners in the past used to tie bells to bodies to ensure they were dead. When the local sheriff brings in a corpse late that night, Austin blows off plans with his girlfriend to stay and help his father with the autopsy. Austin doesn't want to go into the family business and has plans to move away with his girlfriend, but has not told his father. He asks Emma to swing by later that night. The autopsy begins and things do not add up. Though Jane's eyes are clouded like she has been dead for weeks, there is no rigor mortis. They find her wrists and ankles have been shattered from restraints and her tongue has been cut out. Though her internal organs show signs of intense trauma, including signs of her being burned and stabbed multiple times, her skin is pristine and shows no sign of trauma whatsoever. The condition of much of the body suggests that death had just occurred, while the cloudiness of the corpse's eyes suggests she has been dead for several days. During the autopsy, creepy things happen. The radio spontaneously changes stations, frequently settling on the song "Open Up Your Heart" and "Let the Sunshine In," and Austin believes he sees people standing in the morgue's hallway. After investigating, he finds their cat, Stanley, mortally wounded. Tommy quickly snaps Stanley's neck to put him out of his misery before reluctantly incinerating the corpse. Continuing the autopsy, they find that she has been poisoned. Jimson weed, a paralyzing agent not native to the area, is found in her stomach. Tommy finds the woman's missing tooth wrapped in a piece of cloth in her stomach. The cloth has Roman numerals, letters, and an odd diagram. They hear storm warnings on the radio. When the pair remove Jane Doe's skin, similar symbols are found on the inside of her skin. All the lights in the room suddenly explode. They realize other corpses in the morgue have gone missing. They decide to leave. The pair find that a tree has landed on the emergency exit hatch and the elevator is useless due to the storm cutting off the electricity. In Tommy's office, one of the missing core trying to come in. They stop it using a file cabinet, during which Tommy cuts his hand. While cleaning his wound, he got attacked. They return to the autopsy room and again examine the corpse. When the door locks itself, Austin hacks it with an emergency axe. Through an opening, they see one of the missing corpses. Unable to get to the cremation furnace, they set the corpse ablaze in the exam room. The fire spreads rapidly. Tommy puts it out with an extinguisher but is disturbed to find the body has not burned. When the elevator turns back on, Tommy and Austin try to escape, but the doors will not close. Panicked, Tommy uses an axe against what he believes to be one of the animated corpses. When he and Austin exit the elevator, they discover he has killed Emma, who had returned to meet Austin. and Jane had altered their perception of who was walking towards them. While hiding, father and son have a heart-to-heart regarding the death of Austin's mom. Tommy's wife passed away a couple of years ago and the pair have largely suppressed their grief over it. And then decide to finish the autopsy, believing it is the only way to break the curse. After removing Jane's skull and taking some brain tissue, the pair discover that Jane's brain is still alive. Austin manages to decipher the cloth found inside Jane Doe, and the cloth suggests that Jane was alive in Salem, Massachusetts at the time of the infamous witch hunts, where innocent women accused of being witches were burned at the stake. Tommy theorizes that Jane was an innocent woman who was wrongfully tortured and killed by the Salem witch hunters and, in so doing, essentially turned her into a witch that takes vengeance on all who have tortured her. Intuiting that their autopsy has been construed as a form of torture by Jane, Tommy offers to take on all her injuries if Jane will only spare Austin's. Jane appears to accept, as Tommy's limbs are shattered, and he suffers cuts and a scalping similar to what they did to Jane's body. Before Austin mercy kills his father. As soon as Tommy is killed, Austin hears the sheriff calling for him outside the emergency doors. Austin walks up the stairs to the voice but then realizes that this is another trick by Jane when the sheriff begins singing song "Open Up Your Heart." Before Austin can do anything, a corpse from the morgue jumps out at him. Austin falls backward in surprise and tumbles off the stairwell to his death. The corpse of Jane, having fully healed its exterior, seems to smile. Eventually, the actual sheriff shows up and witnesses the carnage. The radio also notes it had been a clear night, suggesting that the storm was another illusion from Jane. Surveying the carnage, the sheriff orders Jane Doe's corpse removed from his jurisdiction. As Jane is transported to a new morgue, her toe taps in time to the "Open Up Your Heart" music playing from the radio.